This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Media.
Good day, guys.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene.
I'm so used to starting the show that I got temporary frozen, like a deer in headlights. Big truck coming by. Didn't know what to do. Frozen in place. None of these deer references doing it for you?
Nope.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. But nonetheless, hey, guys, welcome. Hope everyone's doing very well today. Summer, what were we talking about?
One sec. I will be right back. I'm going to let you be for 1 sec.
Okay.
Okay. 1 sec.
You know, I made a reference to our sound engineer before the show started. Then my co-host was going to be a phantom today. And unfortunately, it appears I am temporarily correct. Oh. Maybe not.
Sorry, my mom's visiting. I think I just flashed the camera. My mom's visiting. She's in the other room, and I'm like, I can hear you.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I don't think she realized how sensitive the microphones are. Don't get me wrong, Mom. I'd love to have you on the show. Just intent. Yeah, she's been on.
You've been on before.
Yeah.
Oh, don't make it yours again. Come on back.
Sorry, guys. So
you've been invited.
Where were we?
We were just about to discuss what we were talking about beforehand when we got on the show.
Thank you.
A lot about male insecurity in the entertainment world and its impact on the young men. Because let's be honest,
he wants to talk about penises.
It's not that I want to, but it's a really good topic. All anything you film, put on camera, anything you put on the internet nowadays, you put it on TV, put it in the movie theaters, all of it's a form of entertainment. This includes obviously adult entertainment. And I know you've been advocating for adult film stars to have the same rights.
I've asked for them to be allowed to be in the Screen Actors Guild and the Producers Guild.
Right. But I would like to kind of deviate and not necessarily talk badly about the industry, but its impact on people. Because we see it all the time. I mean, we were talking about just before we got on the show how young men nowadays are like super penis insecure, for example, because they see it on the screen. Like, oh, mine's not that big. These guys are getting all these girls and I'm not. So they kind of feel bad about themselves.
Okie dokie.
What's your opinion on that?
Do you want me to be honest? I mean, how honest are we talking here?
You won't be insulting me. Be as honest as you want. I'm cool.
I think that men are more obsessed with penises than women.
Why do you think that is?
We care about the person attached to the penis, and even women that are looking for a one-night stand. So you're not a sapiosexual. You're just,
cool,
you're good into whatever. You still don't want something beating on your cervix. So for us, a super large penis is not a good thing. Even a man that's above average, it's uncomfortable. I mean, it's not. I love you. But
thank you. I appreciate that.
If you are dealing with somebody with a large penis, it takes away. Quickies are off the table. You require why? Because you can't just shove stuff in. There's lubricant. There's
Wait, you mean you don't just come ready to go?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You're on the high side of average, and so that turns into a situation where there's, like I said, quickies are off.
No idea, but hey, there we go. Sorry, guys, for the crackling.
How long have we been? Yeah. So essentially, I keep telling him not to use these.
Well, I won't again. I don't know why. I checked everything beforehand and it worked just fine.
I keep telling you no.
I feel like I'll have to do a little more investigating before the next show to figure out what's going on. But anyways, so you're talking about the uncomfortability of a larger penis?
It's not pleasant. It's not fun. I mean, there's no part of the cervix that's an erogenous zone.
So now that we've kind of like established that it's not fun, In my opinion, after watching, like, my very young got into watching pornography, and I definitely saw how they usually portray the penis. And I get that they do it because they want it to be more prominent and in your face.
Well, that's because the whole point of it is the sex. It's the sexual organs.
Right.
If you, I'm an advocate. I believe if you want to work in sex work, absolutely go for it. But personally, I think the detriment to young men and women, it doesn't teach them anything. They have access to it young because they're on devices.
Yeah.
And it's causing a natural decline in regular sexuality because people aren't finding partners. They just want porn.
Yes,
porn is
true.
An entirely selfish medium. It's all about the person watching it. And so they go into these sexual relationships not knowing what a clitoris is. And
here's the next thing that's also a problem. This may sound good, but it's a genuine problem. You get whatever you want, as much as you want, anytime you want, and zero judgment. And that's not a good thing. When you're trying to get into a relationship with somebody, all those things are not going to exist. There's going to be judgment. You can't always have what you want. You definitely can't always have it whenever you want. And you have to be able to communicate, work with that person. And porn just kind of takes all that off the table.
But it also teaches you that just putting your penis in is enough.
That's true, it does. But it can also make you really insecure is the problem.
That is the other thing. But you have to remember the men. So, you're on, again, I'm going to talk about your penis. You now get to be the test dummy. You're on the high side of normal, but I love that you're saying it's not a positive.
I'm giving you shit. It's fine. My bad.
But that has not been a positive in our relationship at all.
No, it causes pain, discomfort.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. The other part of that is you're over 6 foot tall, so it doesn't look massive because it's on a big body. It looks normal. But if you took your penis and put it on a guy that was 5'5", 5'6", it would look massive.
I got to tell you right now.
And that's what they do in porn is they put in guys that are 5'6", 5'7", with not even with above average penises. So these guys look massive, and then the women they hire are 5 foot tall.
Fair enough. I got to tell you that even though rationally understanding all this, my lizard brain went, you're like, above average penis. Yeah, but you're tall, so it doesn't look like it. It brought me back down. So even though knowing like that's the case and it really doesn't matter, it's actually more beneficial to be on average smaller.
Not necessarily smaller. It's not about smaller. It's average. Normal is good for a reason. A symmetrical face is considered beautiful. Yes. Average height is considered average. Human beings are designed to crave average, the normal. And so I would say a small penis isn't any better than a large penis. You essentially normal, average, because you're not hitting the cervix.
That's what
you'll feel somebody, you're enough to feel, but not hurt.
That's really interesting that you say that they were seeking out average intentionally. And I do notice that sometimes I will want something that's just a mundane meal, a mundane experience. I'm not trying to go extract. I'm not trying to jump off cliffs every day of my life. Sometimes I just want to go for a walk. And I wonder if maybe that's why a lot of people will be driven towards pornography, because it's not average. It's something more exciting than what you get on a regular day-to-day basis.
Of course it is, but it's teaching you to seek that out. But to get that dopamine hit each time, what you're looking at is going to have to be more and more extreme, the same as anything else. It's a very dangerous form. But we've had pornography as long as we've had video cameras.
Yeah, the way back they had those little, we talked earlier, rotary kind of like stop motion. You'd see the image, you click to the next one, see a different setting.
Yeah,
different
back
person.
in the day with this writing on the screen. I mean, there's always been, even in the time of silent film.
Yeah.
There's always been pornography. So.
But that said, we're also, I'm not trying to take away from
that is also what led to the larger penis thing, by the way.
What do you mean?
Was because back in the day, objects were harder to focus on.
Yeah.
So a man with a bigger penis showed more through his pubic hair and her pubic hair and on a camera, on a black and white camera. And they were shooting from a distance. Then they got closer and closer and closer. And it wasn't really until the 60s that Hustler was the one that really kind of got in there. But
love the way you
really got in there.
That,
and because everyone wanted that, then it went from there to everything being shaved and waxed and all of that, which has caused an uptick in pedophilia as well.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So it's funny, there are links for pornography driving people to seek out that next largest high, innovations go out the door, and that can lead some men and some women down the road to, we can't say the word because YouTube, but you know, kid diddling. So why would the shaven parts have an impact there?
Well, because you're looking at a body that looks almost prepubescent. If you're hiring women that are 5 foot tall because you want them to look smaller, you're then getting women who are quite thin, and then you're removing pubic hair. You're making them look more and more prepubescent. It's really damaging to the brain. But it also damages bodies. I've had waxes since I was 15. I was an underwear model. So they don't let you keep hair because they don't want the shadow of hair on the underwear when you're wearing them. So I've been bare there since I was 15, and I can't even grow hair properly anymore. I didn't mean to giggle. We said bare there. Bare there.
But yeah. So, I beg your pardon?
Yeah. So I can't grow hair properly anymore.
Right.
Now that, so if it comes back in to having pubic hair comes back in style, which it is, I'm going to have to buy a merkin.
So in some...
It's a little wig.
so in some cases, it's actually causing some people to go through physical... It's not deformity,
it's like
calling it the right word.
It's like overwaxing your eyebrows. It wrecks the hair follicles.
Yeah, so they don't come back normally, if at all, at that point. So some people are permanently changing their bodies to try and look at what's popular right now. And then I see
guys, oh my God, like I see guys who are like hairy dudes with a shaved bald crotch. I'm like, that is so weird.
Just the one section is all bald. But that's what it does to you. It makes guys want to go and get like penis pills and pumps and all that other shit.
Shaving it makes it look larger because you're seeing more of it.
Yes, it's also so does losing weight for that matter. That's good incentive by anyone out there who's feeling like they need to lose a couple of pounds. Just think of it this way: your penis will be larger by doing it. I'm not saying it's great for stereotype.
You actually can gain about an inch in manhood.
That makes sense. I've never thought about that.
When you remove your fupa.
When you remove your fupa, it come from WazD01 best viewers on stream. Boo. I think that's someone's advertising on our stream. That's what I think that is.
So essentially, I think there's something very...
It's not inherently evil because the goal is to make money. It's a business, right? But it's having really negative side effects on the population in general. Women and men included, by the way. It can make women very insecure and self-conscious.
Women watch the bodice rippers, they watch the romances, and they get this idea that love is supposed to be this hugely passionate thing where the guy is like jumping off of cliffs for her and killing other people for her. Right. I like calm. I suppose it's different.
What's a bodice ripper?
Bodice ripper. Bodice is like a blouse.
Oh, okay.
You know, the pirates. Guy meets girl, guy essays girl, guy and girl fall in love. It's a whole thing. It's a whole
That's
genre.
Not a thing that women
no, women are not into.
Okay.
But in the stories they are. So essentially okay. I look at it like Twilight, like 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey would be an SVU episode.
If it was
if the guy was fat and poor. So really it has to do with pretty privilege more than anything else.
I never thought about that. Hey, you don't really see at least they don't try and put out unattractive porn stars or pornography or people. They try and play everything up a lot.
They want prettier people. That's happened with time though. Before it was just the penis thing. But realistically, even if you look at porn actresses, most of them aren't beautiful. They're not super pretty. They seem gettable to a degree.
Gettable. So is that maybe part of the whole relatability aspect? They're wanting people. I'd say get the audience more involved in it. They think they actually have a shot. This could be them, and they live vicariously through the experience.
If a girl looks unattainable or too pretty, men are intimidated by that. Really, that is a psychological phenomenon. It requires quite a lot of confidence when women are financially successful, exceptionally attractive, or have a higher social status than men, be it beauty-based or financially based. Men either need high finances to feel they deserve a really beautiful woman, or they need their own social capital.
So it's not necessarily, that's what causes it. They said feel. It's not necessarily the case, but men feel like they need to have it.
It's their feeling.
Okay.
It's social and financial capital. I mean, if you look at social capital, I'm titled and wealthy. I'm successful. So if you weren't confident, yes, but if you weren't confident, how would you feel about being involved?
No, I actually, as the more I'm talking about, the more I would actually encourage you, if you were trying to go after a high status woman in life or high status man, whoever the chaser is, I would just suggest you have something to bring to the table too, because a lot of times they don't want somebody who comes with zero. They would like somebody who has that ability to kind of work cohesive and bring something to the relationship in general.
True. Nobody wants somebody that brings nothing to the table.
Right.
And I constantly tell women bringing vagina is not enough.
Some guy, I don't mean to argue with that. Some guys are definitely like, you got a vagina? That's it. That's all I'm looking for.
Not if you're looking for a high status man.
Fair enough. There is going to be an expectation if you can also kind of pull weight too. But I don't know. I don't know if porn really impacts that aspect because they're probably not thinking about relationships all too much at that point. It's a bot from Twitch, can't block it. Fair enough.
Love Twitch bots.
Love Twitch bots.
Okay. Let us know where Madison's on.
She's on with us right now. On.
All right, and we will have Madison on the show. That was a terrible segue.
We had no way of bringing that in.
No, but I'm trying to get Madison on this show that we're doing. We're doing a relaunch of Fashion Police.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm going to be working with Brittany Schmidt on this. So love Brittany Schmidt, phenomenal comedian. So I'm trying to bring Madison in on that. I just haven't told her yet.
Well, let's do it. Welcome to the show, Madison.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Apologies in advance. I have like no makeup on. My hair is crazy, but I'm in Jamaica vibes right now. You caught me on vacation.
Nice. I'm sorry, you're in Jamaica right now?
I'm currently in Jamaica. I'm looking at the most beautiful view ahead of me.
Hell yeah. Congratulations. Good vacation.
What are you doing in Jamaica?
I grew up in Jamaica. I grew up half in Tampa, half in Jamaica. So coming back to Jamaica for the holidays is just home.
That's awesome. Do you ever get homesick when you're far away from it for too long?
Yes. I'm like the kind of woman who needs to be close to the ocean. The ocean just makes me feel safe and comfortable. So it's not too bad living in LA. You can still reach an ocean.
The water's cold though. There's something wrong with the water here. I'm not a fan. I miss the water.
I don't necessarily need to go in the ocean, but I need to be near it. The energy is very powerful.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can see that. Now, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do? We're going to go through some of your stuff, but I can go through your bio, but I've talked to Madison. So for those that don't know, Madison is incredibly entertaining. She's funny. Make sure you're following her social media. What's your social media?
At Madison Brodsky, Brodsky.
She's entertaining as hell, just FYI. I put you on the spot.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'll give you a little background info here. So I was born and raised half in Tampa, half in Jamaica. And growing up, it was always so much fun to watch the entertainment shows. So anything from E! News to Entertainment Tonight with my mom. I would literally be in PJs. She would find these little tiny baby heels, and I would be in heels and PJs watching the show every night. Whenever the award shows came around, so at the beginning of the year, that was like my Super Bowl. I absolutely loved it. I would get dressed in my PJs and my heels. I would stand in front of the host on the TV, and I would pretend like I was interviewing the celebrities on the red carpet. And just in my childhood, adolescent, naive brain, I didn't realize that I could actually do this for a living. So when people said, Madison, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would always say, whatever gives me the time to volunteer in Hollywood, which is hilarious because does anybody have time to just volunteer an entire job like an entertainment reporter? I don't think so. But as I grew up and got older, I realized, wow, I could really get paid for this. And I went to the University of Arizona. I did 3 years there. I double majored as a broadcast journalism major and film and TV major, did 12 internships during my time there, and immediately got hired at TMZ. Worked at TMZ for 3 years and went on to Entertainment Tonight. The list goes on and on. But I love what I do, and it's brought me to chatting with you guys today.
That's awesome. You know, it's funny. I tend to ask people, hey, what brought you to your current career? Like, oh, did you think of yourself as doing X, Y, and Z on the playground, talking to your friends? And a lot of times they'll turn to me and say, no, I just kind of fell into this. And I always think to myself, how do you fall into whatever position? It's incredible. But you actually had a game plan from childhood to academics, your college, your career course, and then to working actually with TMZ and being on the red carpets and doing all you really dreamed of doing.
I would like to call it a spontaneous game plan because, yes, I knew the ultimate goal, but I didn't know the path to get there. So everything was making decisions. I'm truly just this small town girl, and everyone would tell me, Madison, your dream is a 1 in a million. And I'd be like, okay, but somebody has to be that one. So why can't it be me? And I would figure out how to get there. I didn't care if somebody told me no. I was going to figure out another way to get something that's either the same or similar or even better. And that's how you continue to grow yourself.
That's the mindset so many people don't
Prince
have.
Harry was going to marry an American from entertainment, why not her?
Why not? Why not Meghan?
I'm just saying. you say that. I got to go to polo with them coming up. I may send him your way. Yeah, I'm really cross with them right now. But so for you, entertainment has kind of been the dream since you were a child.
Yeah, I always found a lot of passion in hearing people's stories and getting to ask follow-up questions. I think it's a really unique position that we get to learn a little bit about so many different topics. And it's so much fun because knowledge is power at the end of the day. And to be able to hear these little tidbits of information all over the place is really fascinating. This year alone, I hosted everything from LA Tech Week to Founder Made, which was a bunch of founders in all different types of categories of brands, to even biohacking, and then of course all the entertainment red carpets. So think of that alone. I'm learning about health, I'm learning about business, I'm learning about tech, I'm learning about celebrities and their lives, and it's just so much fun to kind of learn something new every single day.
You know, now that you bring it up, as just from being a host here, I know sometimes we bring on a guest who like really good accolades, really good information, not the best at like communicating that and being essentially an interviewing entertainer.
She's a host, of course. She's good at communicating.
Well, that's what I want to ask. You know,
that's of course she's good at it.
No. Like when you go and you interview these people, I can imagine sometimes you come across somebody who you're like, oh, what's this, that, or the other for you, and they're just very bland.
My
very drawn out.
Went viral for that. She was on the red carpet. She goes up to this host, and this host comes at her and is like, "Are you excited to be here?" And my poor grandmother, she's from Tasmania. She's no, but I'm very
pleased. Yeah, there's definitely an art to that.
She's like, I'm very pleased.
Have a quick 2 or 3 seconds to break the ice and make them trust you. I found having a very warm smile and an open heart really brings people in naturally because it's going to get their gut energy to trust you. Once their gut energy trusts you, they just start talking. Also, I think that silence is golden. If you just keep quiet and you nod your head, they're going to keep talking to fill the space. So they're going to give you more information, where a lot of people are in the host position. They just want to hear their own voice. So they keep talking. But you have to remember, it's more about your audience than it is about you. And on top of that, I think a lot of hosts mistake, if you will, I hate calling it a mistake, but things that they could learn to improve is that they are constantly in their heads thinking of their next question. So they're not genuinely and actively listening. And if they're genuinely and actively listening, they're able to get really big headlines because they can be like, wait, did you just say that you got down on one knee earlier? Are you engaged? And if you're thinking about your next question, you're not going to be able to hear and pick that up.
You're not going to pull out the moments, the viral moments. And, you know, I'm sure you would have the common sense not to jump out at a 90-year-old woman from Tasmania.
Right. You come with the correct energy.
You
match the energy.
What is it? He did go viral, but it was the look on his face when he was horrified. It's not good.
Listen, we all have our moments. I've had an interview very specific that my whole family knows about, which will go down as my most awkward moment probably in my entire life, but it happens.
That was going to be one of the questions we asked. So what happened?
Yeah,
I will tell a story without a name. So a very big A-lister was in a film that was about online dating. I am not on any of the apps, so I don't have any experience with online dating, but I always like to end my interviews with something that's like lighthearted and funny, something along those lines. So that way the guest leaves feeling like, oh, she's good. She's good at what she does. I like her. So my like last little funny thing, she's married to a very, even like probably the most A-list actor in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So as we were closing out the interview, I said, aren't you so glad that your insert husband's name here, that the two of you never had to do online dating? And I thought she would be like, haha, oh my God, yes. And instead, she was like, how dare you? You're trying to get into my personal marriage? You need to go home and reconsider what it means to be a journalist. This is disgusting. And blah. She was going off on me. This is in 2020. So I was actually home in Tampa with my parents. And she was screaming at me so loud. My parents could hear it from the other room. And they came walking in and peeked their head in and was like, what is happening in here? She got so offended. I was so upset because I never meant to offend in that kind of conversation. I literally thought she would think it was funny. And instead, she blew up on me. A few days later, well, immediately after, her publicist sent me a text saying, your question was not out of line. We don't know what was going on. A few days later, she sent me a bouquet of flowers apologizing. I think they probably got in a fight that morning and they didn't want to have a conversation about each other. But that is not my problem, girl. So
I don't even know how you get that reaction from that question. Worst case, you can be like, no, I would have enjoyed online dating. Like, worst. You could have just disagreed.
You got some people that are just not stable. You got people let's say, Will Smith, who slapped Chris Rock, because his wife's a lunatic. Really, that woman's freaking nuts.
Oh, careful what you say. I don't want him to come break down our door.
They're also not married.
Oh, yeah?
No, they're still married.
Are they? Hold on. Were they married or did they have like that open relation?
No. They were already. So they were married. She cheated on him. They tried to cover it up by saying they were already separated. It was a whole thing. And it's
a very confusing thing because her book also makes different claims. So it's a little. So
for those that don't know, Jada Pinkett Smith is a diagnosed narcissist. They tried to cover it up. She also has borderline personality disorder and is a compulsive liar. This is very well known in the entertainment industry. She's a hugely problematic person. Will Smith has got his own stuff. There are rumors about him I'm not going to go into because those aren't behaviorally based. But essentially, she cheated on him with her son's friend, went back, said they had an open relationship. The only reason everyone knows that this wasn't true is because he was already out there saying, no, we're not separated. And then he comes back, gets on the same page and goes, yes, we are.
Oh.
Now, all of that being said, Jada historically, I'm like, how do I say this really nicely? Not a girl's girl. Like, she's one of those people who will cheat on him and make it Madison's fault.
We don't love that women, but no. I saw the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock slap. Chris is obviously, no matter what you think about the situation, he's obviously like so innocent and the victim in this whole situation. God, yes. No matter what.
There's Will Smith should not have touched him.
1000%. I think that was Will Smith's moment to show the world I am still the man in my family, because he felt so emasculated by his wife through all the rumors. No matter what you believe is true or not true, it doesn't make him look great in either scenario. So I think that was his moment to kind of stand up and be like, I'm the man. Was it right? No. But I think that's his way of showing that he's the man.
But Chris Rock has said he made a fortune off of this. Sold out a show afterwards and sent a thank you note to Will Smith. So give Chris Rock, he's been classy through the whole thing.
He truly has. I was interviewing, actually quite a few big time comedians like that night at the Oscars. Because of course, for those who don't know, as soon as the Oscars is done, there's a ton of Oscar parties like Elton John's after party, Vanity Fair. Those are really the two biggest ones. And so I was on the carpet interviewing everybody walking through. And of course, what else are you going to ask people besides, was that slap real? What did you think about it? And the most frequent answer that I heard from almost every single comedian is, I can't wait to see what Chris makes out of this. Is it going to be a stand-up special? Is it going to be a TV show? Like, what is his creative brain going to create out of this moment that he was just served on a silver platter?
Yeah.
It's great when you watch the footage, and it's exactly that. You're going, oh my God. Because the first thing you see is Will Smith's laughing. He's going along with the joke until he sees Jada's face.
Mm-hmm.
Then he stops, then he reacts, then he calls out. And the saddest thing, the thing that I think was so sad on that self-destruct is he won the Oscar that night. And that was his first Oscar. That was his first.
It was a little messy, I think, how everything that night was dealt with, whether Will was allowed to stay, was he forced to leave? Obviously, he was not forced to leave. He was able to accept his Oscar, but
Rock said let him stay. Chris Rock actually said let him stay. They were going to take him out. It was Chris that went, let him stay.
I know. Actually, the real victim here is the Williams family.
Yes. Oh my God.
Had this amazing film about their family, specifically their dad. Will Smith, to his credit, absolutely killed the role. And the entire thing is tarnished by his behavior that night.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. I love your perspective. That's really interesting. You're right. Because
I had to interview Venus Williams shortly after, and they specifically said, do not say anything about the Oscars night as a whole. And I was like, got it. And I respect it, honestly. Like, she wasn't a part of that.
No.
Especially her family being so respectable and, like, call it what it is. Racism is alive and well in this country. And to put a strong Black man who encouraged his daughters to become something so great and historical in a film like that, and then to have the contrary of what Will did that night as he's representing this man, I understand why they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, no kidding. No, that ruined the night for everybody in general. Not to mention them and the whole project they're involved in, their family film. You don't want that.
Everyone sees Black stage parents as like Joe Jackson or Beyonce's mom. Like, there's not a good association. So to have a parent that encouraged, came from a rough neighborhood and made his daughters into stars, that is really someone to look up to. That is like,
we need more of those stories.
Exactly. It's kind of like the after Bill Cosby got arrested, everyone looked at the dad from Family Matters and was like, you better not fuck up. You are all we have left.
You're the last stand, man.
You better not fuck up. You are now America's dad. Like, don't screw it up. And
wasn't he just on Dancing with the Stars?
I think he was.
Good for him.
But that's what it is with that. So yeah, I agree with you. I can understand why they didn't want you bringing it up, because they've taken this incredible story that absolutely deserved the Oscar. And the performance was incredible, and gone, I think I'm going to throw a massive controversy, a cheating scandal, and an assault right on top of that.
It's really sad.
Yeah, no kidding. It's sad.
But they have a great team around them, and they rose above it.
They really did.
Speaking of sad moments, I'm kind of curious. If you have an interview that sticks out in your head, aside from the awkward one, of course, where you're being yelled at for no goddamn reason. That was just, it was particularly sad for just any reason at all. You went and talked to the person and they were just a downer. You don't have to drop names.
But
just if something comes to your mind.
The one that sent the flowers, that was reputation management. That was not.
I honestly don't know if the actress knows I received the flowers. I think literally their PR team sent it to me.
Of course, because they're sitting there going, it's okay. And they always do it with the A-listers. It's okay. It wasn't your fault. And then they're sending you the flowers going, don't tell anyone. Do not, please don't let anyone know she's an asshole.
There is no one on this planet who's going to treat you like that.
Blake Lively.
And then
Blake Lively's an asshole.
And then have the capacity to go back a few days later and apologize to you. I don't believe that's the case.
No, but you know what? I would give her a lot of credit if she did. If she gave me a call and literally said, you know what? I had some personal stuff going on that day. You didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. I would erase that from my brain.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. But that shows a lot of integrity on your end as well. Because you're not talking about holding it over them or making a buck over them. Even on this show, you're not naming names. And so that shows a great deal of integrity on your end that clearly doesn't exist on hers.
Listen, I have so many celebrity and athlete friends. Naturally, that happens with what I do. You're attending the same events and parties. You're on the red carpet with them. And I always say, like, yes, 1000%, I am a reporter. That's who I am. I'm transparent about it. I'm not trying to hide it. I will never take something that you tell me off camera and air it out. if I'm not wearing my reporter hat, meaning I don't have a microphone in my hand with a camera right next to me, it's not going anywhere. This is friend Madison. And then when I have a camera and a microphone, that's when you know that's reporter Madison.
Okay. I like that. Your code of ethics.
Yeah, there's boundaries. There's definitely boundaries. Now,
there's a thing that makes you
something to that though, because if they tell me a story and then I see them on the red carpet, I might kind of hint so that they tell me. But if they give me that face, then I'll drop it and move on.
I like that. It was fair. Like, it makes you a really good person, but a slightly less good reporter. I'm just saying, because you won't exploit them. Like, you don't have, you know, you're never going to get the, back. I know, but it means you're never going to get the Nobel for being like that, you know, explosive reporter. But at least you'll have friends and a career. Because every time someone does that expose, dead.
I think I can live with that, but I think that I have a project coming up that will share enough juicy stories that will entertain people that I don't even need to air out my friend's dirty laundry.
Can you shine some light on this project, or as much as you can?
Yes. So I have waited long enough. There's been so much that I have avoided when it comes to podcasting. I have always said it's like a very oversaturated space. I don't know if it's meant for me as somebody who's been on broadcast for so long. And one of my friends, Shaquille O'Neal, have you ever heard of him?
No, he's Marilyn Monroe's likeness. We were talking about that yesterday. He actually owns it.
That's the guy who keeps trying to sell me insurance.
Yeah, he tries to sell you a lot of things. He has many.
I just think he's kind of hot.
The Shaq?
Shaq owns 58 companies right now. So
I'd leave you, Shaq.
That's the guy. He's the one who spent the most money at Walmart in one day.
Doesn't shock me.
No, 70 grand in one
and
purchase.
Then his credit card shut it down and called him and told him he was being robbed.
Yeah.
No, it's so funny. My gut reaction, I almost said, that's it. Like, I expected to be way higher.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty incredible thing. But so please continue.
I'm just impressed that he owns Marilyn Monroe.
He owns a lot. So Shaq came to me and was like, Madison, you need to make a podcast. And I was like, I don't know, so oversaturated. And he's like, trust me, you will find your niche and you will be so good at it. So I started just, you know, living my life. One of the things that I love to do with people when I first meet them, not professionally, but personally, is play Never Have I Ever. I can learn so much about who you are as a person by reading through your answers. And as I started playing with all my celebrity friends, I kept hearing the same thing over and over again, which is, oh my God, if only the public knew that story. But it's such a random story. There's no way a reporter would ever ask a question that would lead to telling that story. And I was like, you know what? There it is. So I have a new podcast coming out that's called Mic'd Up with Madison Brodsky. It'll only be athletes. Shaq, of course, will be the first guest. And we will be playing Never Have I Ever. And that will lead to them telling me a never been told story that will make a headline. So that way, every single episode is a complete exclusive. I've already heard rumblings of what I think some of these big name athletes will be sharing with me. I swear to you, your jaws will be on the floor. I know it sounds sexual. Some of them are, not all of them. Some of them are stuff that's happened in the locker room, stuff that's happened on vacations that are just wild stories that you're like, how does this even happen? But these stories are wild.
So Mic'd Up. That's such a great name too.
Thank you. I was thinking about, you know, athletes mic'd up. So
you got the social media for that everywhere.
Yes.
Hell yeah. That's great that wasn't taken up somewhere.
It's happening.
I'm very glad to hear it.
And so I don't mean to ask, you said Jack is going to be the
Shaq.
Oh, Shaq.
Yeah. He gets punched in the head for money, so
it's okay. It happened. I was walking earlier today and smacked my head on a coconut tree. So I'm right there with you. It's island things. It just happens.
It's island things just happen.
You know what? People do get killed by falling.
Yeah, coconut fell down too.
That is true. Thankfully, that didn't happen though. It was just
thankfully. No, absolutely, for sure.
So coming from Florida, coming from the tropics, then coming out here to California, what are the biggest differences you see?
I mean, all three are pretty different. I would say it's really the vibe and the people. I think that coming from small towns, both here in Jamaica and in Tampa, it's really easy to trust people because when they say they're going to do something, they're going to. And then going to LA and learning that's not the case. And not everybody has like this good, beautiful heart was a really big adjustment for me. But I think one of the things that I'm most proud of myself for is I was able to change my mindset to not trust everybody, but at the same time, keep my heart just as pure as it was when I was living in both of these places.
It's well, sense. It speaks more about the person that, and I'll agree with you there. There's something everyone in Los Angeles, especially the entertainment industry, want to feel important. Mm-hmm. So they'll bullshit you about what they can do or who they know or where they can. So yeah.
Shopping.
Oh my God. And so it's those moments that you turn around and you're like, okay, like that's all you can do. So it is.
My biggest thing is I love to hear it. So tell me, and then I'll just wait to let you prove it to me. I don't have to do anything.
See, I like that. I like her way of doing. I cheat. I call. I'm the asshole that people turn around. They're like, I know this person, and so I'm texting them on the side, or Lexa's texting them on the side, because Hollywood's small. I may not know you, right? But I'll know someone that does. Everyone knows everyone. Madison can tell you.
So who did you call about me?
Lots of different people, and I'll tell you off air. So I'm not
excited. What was their feedback?
I'm curious. You made a point right there. You'll let that person kind of sort it out. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. Doesn't that create stress for you if it's your project?
No, because I know I can make anything happen. So if
I like that.
They take too long, I'm just going to keep it moving.
I like
Got
that.
it. So you leave them behind. That's fair enough. Absolutely. I don't know.
That means I and my project wasn't important enough to you and what you have going on that you're going to get on it right away. So it's either you're on board with me or you keep doing you, and I'm just going to keep doing what I was going to do.
Makes sense. Yeah, you can't wait on other people. You slow your life up.
And that's how you make good relationships, right? There's no need to like create drama. There's too much. And I've already been through enough drama in my life. I'd like to keep that all in the past. So I'd like to just like, I don't know, appreciate people for who they are and what they brought to the table. And if that's nothing, that means that they were just a great person to meet in that moment. And I'm moving on with my life.
Wow, you're a way better person than I am.
Very, very kind way of looking at things. Absolutely.
It's just like, why put that stress on yourself? Like, stress ages you, and I would like to look 23 for the rest of my life.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm going to look 45 when I'm 30.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want to reverse those.
Oh, man. No, just the body's going to feel like it's 95. I'm taking my wins where I can get them.
That's what you should do. You guys should do you should do a video where you teach Madison some MMA.
Have you ever thought about hitting people?
No, but you can change my mindset.
All right. We got it. No, it's sure. That sounds like a good time. Oh, you know what? We can get I want to see if we can get someone, one of the maybe more professional fighter women to come in and spar and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be a good one.
But no, I like her face. No, this is a terrible idea. It's
I'm not going to explain anything.
As long as I don't get a black eye, I'm down.
That's your limitation? Oh, that's cool. That's so simple. That's the part I got it.
I can't go on TV with
No, of course. I understand. No, I'm sure doing what you do, being on TV, being in entertainment, you've ended up in situations not as maybe as well or worse than having to spar or do some mixed martial arts with somebody else. So what's probably one of the weirdest situations you found yourself in?
On camera?
Mm-hmm.
I have to think about that one. I mean, as a host, you're not really put in that many crazy situations.
Really,
but I think that maybe my spectrum of crazy is off.
Oh, you have a higher threshold for it. No, that's not weird. That's cool. I've heard way worse than that, dude.
Yeah, because I'm hearing so many people's stories. I also have my own experiences off camera. So when it comes to on camera, I mean,
you sound like you try and create a very easy kind of tempered environment because you want that person to feel comfortable giving out information to you.
1000%. I'll go to their environment, but I'm a very adventurous person. I like to do things. I was just talking to my mom, like, let's go skydiving. And she's like, no. And I was like, okay, well, here's the deal. The night before I get married, my future husband and I are going to jump out of an airplane and skydive together. Because that's the ultimate leap, right? Everyone says that marriage is the ultimate leap of faith. Let's do the ultimate physical leap and jump out of an airplane together.
I like that.
No fear after that. No cold feet.
Are you comfortable jumping out of a plane?
No.
Damn.
I got you. You've jumped out of a plane. I won't get in a. You have to drug me to get me in a plane.
So side story, because now we're on it. Wonderful birthday gift. They got me to go skydiving. It was a surprise gift.
Where'd you go?
I think it was air jump or something.
No. We don't give free ads.
Oh, sorry, my bad. But
was it in Jamaica, Dubai?
Southern California, Oceanside.
Okay.
But it was the only thing that I was unhappy with is that they didn't tell me what it was because it was a surprise. And so we get there and say, "You're gonna skydiving? That's awesome." I'm wearing pajama pants because it didn't occur to me to I need to be super done up for this. So they're very loose fitting, like jogger pants, and then they're strapping me in. They're getting all the vests and harness together.
Pajama pants.
No, they're not actually
pajama pants. You live in a world where people think you're out in flannel pajama pants.
Oh no, not actually. They're just really they're thin joggers. Pants. They're thin pants, and so. We get there, I get all strapped in, harnessed up. They get up to the sky. The guy does his count. We go free fall for a minute.
He wants to say no. The guy jumped out early. That's the only reason he didn't.
Oh my God.
He had me put my hands on the bar and he's like, we're going to jump on 3. You got it. 1, I'm okay. 2, I think I'm going to have him stop. And then he was already out of the plane. There was no third.
Wow. So you just had to go.
Oh, yeah, we just had to leave.
I don't know what it was with sports guys and why sports guys with your new podcast? Mm-hmm. Why sports guys? I know you're involved. You've got the Super Bowl coming up. You've got all of this stuff going on, but why sports? That's not really commonplace for. I'm going to sound really sexist now. That's not commonplace for a lot of female reporters. It's mostly people that look like him.
Yeah, I grew up surrounded by sports. My dad and brother both played to the collegiate level. And I naturally became friends with a lot of athletes throughout my entire, I guess not childhood, but life, being from Florida and then moving out to LA. And on top of that, we always had season tickets everywhere we went. So I had Tampa Bay Buccaneers tickets. I had Tampa Bay Lightning tickets. I had Tampa Bay Rays and also New York Yankees spring training. So basically all the Tampa teams. And I love going to the games. And because I love going to the games so much, here's my brother making a quick little appearance in the background.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you? Sorry to
No ads.
If it seems something you can give an ad, I'm telling Bear not to stop because he keeps giving free ads. We have companies we work with, shout out by the way, to Bellamy Hair, to KMX Stands, Tiny Bubbles Hair Salon. Off-Road Rentals is our giveaway. Start following Madison. Tell me what your favorite clip of hers is, and I'll give you a free ride at Off-Road Rentals for the first 3 people that do that.
Perfect.
And the Hilton Hotels. Thank you very, very much.
I love that. Great job, you guys.
Right. I was yeah.
So I think naturally, my brother is back. So I think naturally I just became super interested in the world of sports because I was going to the game so often. So I understood how each sport worked. I understood the rules. And when you understand the rules and you start meeting all the players, they're impressed. They're like, wait, a hot girl that knows sports? What? And then they kind of quiz you because they almost don't believe you. They're like, well, who's your favorite team? And then I'll go into a whole thing and explain what I think of what's going on with that team or certain players or something. They're like, whoa. So I think it's fun. I think it's going to be a fun twist in the podcast world to have a new, fresh female face on the scene when it comes to sports. I think that this is a fun way for sports fans, whether you are a she, a he, or them, they, you are going to really enjoy getting to see. That was my brother's girlfriend walking past. You're going to really enjoy seeing athletes that you know and love in a different light. They're not going to be coming onto this podcast talking sports, even though I could keep up with that. They're going to be coming onto this podcast telling the skeletons in their closet. And it's going to be funny, entertaining, and it's a different side of their personalities that we don't always get to see.
That's awesome.
All right, so it's time. Give a shout out again. Tell everyone where to find you.
You can find me on all platforms at Madison Brodsky, Brodsky.
Guys, when her podcast is coming up, we'll get her on right before, go through it again. You'll go watch her podcast. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Madison. I'm Summer Helene. This is Behind the Scenes. We are on with my co-host, Bear Fiorda. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda. Only on Talk 4 Media.